Wait, is this just Gate? Part 3. A story by user PepperAntique. So, now that we're officially in the interrogation part of our meeting, what is this phone thing that makes the music? Kella asked him, holding said phone up. They were in a room that would have fit into any episode of Law & Order, CSI, 24, or any other crime drama show he'd ever seen in his life. Heavy-duty wooden table bolted to the ground that his hands were shackled to. Similarly heavy-duty bolted-down chair that he was strapped to at the waist. Oh, and the large mirror that was very obviously where they had people watching him. At least he was dressed. They gave him back his underwear, pants, and undershirt, though they kept everything else, even his belt. No weapons or suicide options. Totally fair. The only real difference was that this room was made out of cobbled stone, and that there were no electronics in sight. Well, minus his phone. On top of that, James's face hurt. He was rubbing his jaw where he'd been hit. It's a cell phone, dude. A long-range communication device that's also capable of finding and displaying information. He responded, still rubbing his jaw. Why did that supermodel punch me in the face? Who was that? That was the first princess and commander of the Petrevian Guard, Amina Petrovus, Kella replied. As for why she punched you, well, she's probably upset that you managed to defeat me so handily. She's not a fan of having to share her toys, so to speak. What, you and her boyfriend and girlfriend or something? I got a couple of buddies that would love to watch that. Fucking furries. I honestly don't even understand half of what you just said, but I've been her right hand for nearly a decade now. Never mind. Speaking of understanding each other, how are we doing that? That sign over the door on the way in definitely wasn't in English. So what language was it? Well, that's easy enough, Kella said. Right now you're in the castle's diplomat wing. Every room in this wing has been infused with runes that allow people to speak freely amongst each other without need for a translator's presence. Kella fiddled with the phone some more. How does this thing work? I can make this side of it light up, but when I touch it, it just shows me some nonsense alphabet. James sighed and held out his hand. Let me see it. Also, it's not nonsense, it's English. Although, admittedly, English is kind of a nonsense language. He grabbed the offered phone and pressed his thumb into the fingerprint symbol. It's programmed specifically to only allow me to use it. Weird. I have a single half-assed bar of signal. But I'm also roaming. How the hell? He looks up to see the werewolf with a hand back on its sword. Want to relax a bit? I can't hurt you with this thing. Only damage this thing could do is if I threw it at your head, or left you a really bad Yelp review. He pulls up his camera and snaps a picture of the werewolf. Luckily, he made sure to disable the flash. Then he pulls the picture up. See, check it out. I just took a picture of you. If you swipe your finger on the screen, it'll show you other pictures. Don't worry, no dick pics. Kella relaxes, loosening her grip on the sword, and takes the phone back. Kella looks like a child seeing a new toy for the first time. The werewolf stares at its picture for a while, before following James's directions and swiping. James waves at the mirror and smiles, mouthing the words, I know you're in there, to the people that are guaranteed to be watching. This is amazing. These paintings are so realistic. Kella keeps swiping. What else can this phone do? Tap that little circle at the bottom of the screen. Kella complies. Now hit that red circle with the musical note. At this, Kella looks confused and holds the phone closer, so he can show what he means. At this, Kella looks confused and holds the phone closer so he can show what he means. He taps it and then picks one of his favorite songs. The voice of Dryden Mitchell screams as he begins Alien Ant Farm's cover of Smooth Criminal. Kella drops the phone on the table. What the hell was that? The werewolf exclaims while reaching for the sword again. Relax, relax, James says as he picks the phone up. It's just music. Oh, good you didn't break the screen. That is not music. They just made a screaming noise. And now they're just speaking gibberish while the music plays in the background. But James sees the werewolf's ears twitching to the beat. So those magic runes don't translate when my phone plays. Interesting. Don't lie, I can see your ears dancing along to the beat. You really can't understand what he's saying? I mean, yeah, he's talking fast, but he's speaking the same language I am. All I hear is gibberish that matches the beat. I will admit that the beat is interesting, though. Kella replies. Interesting. James turns the music off. Well, look, this thing is legitimately harmless. It doesn't even show as having the ability to communicate right now, he lies. Do you mind if I keep it? It has some books that I can read to keep myself entertained. At least for the next few hours before it dies. It will die? Wait, that's a living thing? Kella asks. What? No, it just runs out of energy. After that, it can't be used until it gets recharged. Ah, yes. We have some devices that operate in a similar fashion. How do you recharge it? That depends, James says. Have you guys got any of this stuff for my striker? Namely, a little green backpack that matches my uniform's pattern. If so, then I do have the stuff in there to recharge. Though I'll need access to some sunlight. He hadn't thought of that yet. Did this place even have a sun? If so, how many? He hadn't seen any sign of the outdoors since he'd woken up. He'd seen some windows here or there, but he'd been too preoccupied at the time to really pay any attention to what was outside of them. In due time, Kella said, knocking him out of his train of thought. For now, I'll have to take this back. Our mages will have to take a closer look at it. Well, worth a shot at least. In the meantime, Kella continued, tell me more about the world you came from. Top Secret. To CDR Zulu, NSA Command. Task Force, Secret Keepers. Regarding Anomaly Report 06-23-2048. Report begins. At approximately 0345 on the forward operating base Eagle at Fort Irwin's National Training Center, an as-yet undetermined spatial anomaly occurred, involving a Striker 3 vehicle and its 3 occupants. Said occupants were performing routine guard duty when a green glow began to occur throughout the front section of the vehicle. The glow encompassed the driver, co-driver, and the legs of the soldier currently manning the gun. After several moments of the glow, the section of the vehicle being affected disappeared, leaving the remainder of the vehicle and gunner in their current location. The gunner's screams of pain were the first thing to alert any of the other personnel that were also on duty at the time. Said personnel then rushed to their aid, to find the gunner missing one leg and bleeding profusely while screaming about fucking aliens. The gunner, one Corporal Batista, is currently recovering at a nearby hospital and is the source of first-hand account of events. Driver Sergeant Odiko and co-driver Specialist Choi are currently missing, assumed to be with the missing section of the Striker 3, wherever they may be. As of now, the nature of the anomaly is undetermined and being investigated further. Curiously, despite cell phones being off-limits during guard duty while on NTC, signals from the missing personnel's phones were discovered. The driver's phone was found bundled into a pair of socks in his duffel bag, but the co-driver's phone was tracked to the location of the anomaly. Despite not being physically present, the phone continues to give off a signal from said location. Wherever they ended up, it is not currently believed to be on Earth, maybe not even our dimension, at least according to our analysts. We will continue to keep you updated as we uncover more. If you're new here, welcome aboard. Check out the description for the story and join the Discord if you like. Consider supporting the channel and the author as well. It's a dangerous world out there, but remember to be brave and look up to seek the stars.